We are gathered today in this historic theater of the Republic to pay tribute to the constituents of 1917, who approved in this city of Querétaro the political constitution of the United Mexican States, the most advanced in its time for recognizing individual rights. The social rights of the people of Mexico, whose guiding principles still hold strong today. Mexico is a magnificent country with extraordinary people. We are a proud nation, home to ancient native cultures that constructed awe-inspiring pyramids and contributed significantly to human civilization, who understood the stars, life and death, as part of a constant change that they gave us, and continue to give us unique languages and ancestral knowledge that enrich our life and our supportive soul. Mexico, like no other country, is great for its heroes and heroines who worked with devotion for their homeland independence. Justice, freedom, democracy, and everlasting brotherhood and unity amongst all people. Mexico is undeniably amazing due to its people who are truly honest and hardworking, now more empowered than ever before. Mexico is also grand because of our siblings residing across the border, who we cherish and recognize uniquely as they unite us not just by blood, but through love. Long live the brave and determined migrants who honor our flags. I'm Mexican, I'm Mexican. It is the feeling of pride that lifts us up and encourages us every day. Today more than ever, in these interesting times that we have had to live in these times of transformation and new challenges, we have to rescue the lessons of our history and enhance the best of our people. To continue walking upright with our beloved homeland, we must remember that February 5th, today is daytime, historically marks the promulgation of the two main political constitutions of Mexico, that of 1857 and that of 1917. However, it is pertinent to say, keep in mind, who was José María Morelos y Pavón, the humanist, the visionary, the brave, the one who wanted it possible for the first constitution to be given, that of Mexican America, the Constitution of Apatzingan. Though it never took effect, it was a national endeavor guiding numerous generations of Mexicans in the defense of their independence and sovereignty. Crafted by a small group of 19 constituents in 1814, who may never have assembled in one place because they resided in Salto de Mata and were pursued by the Royalist Army, they managed to draft it. 242 perfectly ordered items. That work, which already established equal rights for all, had its antecedents in the feelings of the nation and also contained the cry of Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, not only for independence, but for the abolition of slavery. That is, since independence, we have not only been marked by the fight for a sovereign country, but also by the fight for a country with justice. We must always remember that our nation's forefathers and mothers sacrificed their lives from the very beginning in front of the Spanish crown for Mexico's independence. Justice, with a capital J, hope for social justice and human rights have defined our beloved nation ever since its inception. 11 years of independence war, And after a few years of Iturbide's empire, the people of Mexico and their popular leaders refused to accept a monarchy and reconciled the first constitution of the United Mexican States, that of 1824, which, although established the republic and defended the foundations of democracy, he disregarded the significant contributions to social justice made by the beautiful sentiments of the nation of Morelos.
Later, of various changes
Constitutional,
throughout all presidencies,
the Santana
and the ruthless one,
invasion of the United States.
that
He took over half of our territory. The heroics have arrived,
and bright,
Mexican liberals. In 1857, with the triumph of the Ayutla Revolution, and after 1 year of discussions, the drafting of a new and advanced Magna Carta was born. The Federal Constitution of the United Mexican States of 1857, which established individual guarantees, maintained the proscription of slavery. It guaranteed the cherished freedoms of expression, education, and work, along with emphatic rights of assembly and association, petition, and free movement, and the prohibition of corporal punishment. This document also marked the critical separation of church and state, paving the way for progressive secular education, unrestricted freedom of worship, and the establishment of civil marriage, while also leading to the elimination of jurisdictions, monopolies, and titles of nobility. The Constitution emphasized the autonomy of municipalities and endowed states with the sovereign power to elect their authorities and to develop their distinctive laws. But something especially exceptional that comes from the feelings of the nation and that was reflected in the Constitution of 1857 is Article 39 of the Constitution, which maintains to this day that national sovereignty resides essentially and originally in the people. All public power arises from the people and is instituted. For their benefit, the people possess an inherent and perpetual right to alter or modify the structure of their government whenever necessary. Mexico experienced the French intervention, and with it, the Second Empire, brought by Mexican conservatives. But the courage and firmness of the reform generation, led by the great benefactor of the Americas, Benito Juárez Garcia, accompanied by poets and writers turned into generals such as Melchor Ocampo, Guillermo Prieto Paine, Ignacio Ramirez. Zarco, among others, led the people of Mexico to achieve the second independence. The long period of Porfirism arrived, characterized by the delivery of goods abroad, greed, brutal repression, annihilation, and deep social division, poverty, and anti-democracy, which after 34 long years was overthrown by a revolution originally led by Madero, who won the presidency in 1911, to be overthrown and murdered along with Vice President Pino Suarez, with a coup d'etat by the traitor Victoriano Huerta. The Mexican Revolution, with the demand for democracy and social justice and sovereignty, achieved the beginning of its pacification with the arrival of the Constitutionalist Army in the capital. In 62 days, the new constitution was drafted, the first in the world to recognize social rights. Once again, Mexico at the forefront. He successfully united and harmoniously balanced the demands of various actors and sectors of national life, whether in the urban or rural areas, including the efforts of private companies. He proposed the construction of a social pact to guide the nation's development, ensuring benefits for the people. Article 1 enshrined individual rights and freedoms, while Article 3 elaborated further. It guaranteed the right of Mexicans to public, universal, scientific, secular, and free education. This right made it possible to build an educational system with national coverage in charge of the state. Article 27 established the original ownership of the nation over lands, waters, and natural resources. It also allowed agrarian distribution. The recognition of communal property alongside Article 123 brought significant progress. It established inalienable workers' rights such as the 8-hour workday, a minimum wage, the right to strike, and social security measures. Years passed until 1982 arrived, and the long neoliberal night began. The social and nationalist vision of the Constitution changed with nearly 500 reforms. Public assets and natural resources were privatized. The country opposed, as development was subordinated to external interests. Much of the welfare state was dismantled, social achievements were weakened, and the majority of Mexicans were impoverished, while the national productive plant was abandoned, and anti-democracy fraught with electoral fraud was deprived. And a neo-porfirism was established with a regime of corruption and privileges. Fortunately, and for what it means, in history, they did not dare to change Article 39 of the Constitution. In 2018, the people made a decision to start a new course, a new path built based on true democracy, social justice, and freedom, with the arrival of President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, inició la cuarta transformación de la República. Precisely 1 year ago, on this exact date, the former president submitted multiple constitutional reform initiatives to Congress with the aim of reclaiming and enhancing the social and nationalist essence of the 1917 Constitution. On June the 2nd, 2024, the Mexican populace displayed unwavering conviction. Moreover, he emphasized that the transformation must persist and that it was imperative for the first female president to take office. Furthermore, upon reflection, he effectively facilitated the election of a new Constituent Congress. Perhaps one of the most important and profound reforms that were sent and that today is part of the Constitution, which we all honor to respect, is the reform of the judiciary. According to Article 39, which states that all public authority stems from the people and is established for their benefit, the citizens decided that judges, magistrates, and ministers should be elected by the people of Mexico. Hence, an election will be held on June 1st in our country. Other far-reaching reforms are making welfare programs rights, guaranteeing that wages do not decrease in real terms, the recovery of the railway and public energy companies. The revitalization and recovery of Pemex and the CFE as public enterprises is substantial, greater, and more equitable, as well as recognizing all rights for the indigenous and Afro-Mexican communities of Mexico upon our arrival. We have also incorporated a new significant reform: the arrival of women to the Constitution of the Republic. Today, on the 5th of February, I absolutely cannot overlook this significant date. Thereby, I am sending 2 brand new constitutional reforms over to the Union Congress. The first in honor of the 1917 Constitution, celebrated with effective suffrage and non-re-election to any popularly elected position, ensuring democratic principles. The second, the express prohibition that no family member can succeed immediately. Another in the case of a popularly elected position, that is, no to nepotism. Our unwavering fight for democracy and against all forms of corruption is fundamentally a matter of principle, dear friends. One of our greatest strengths lies in being an ancient people, deeply nourished by our rich history. Our culture and identity are deeply rooted in the significant transformations of our republic. Over generations, we have built and fought for this beautiful country, and we will continue to do so. There is no going back. The present and the future belong to the people. And with this, the homeland is strengthened, everything for the people, everything with the people, our reason for being, to serve the people. The Constitution is our safeguard to defend the nation. Hence, in these moments when threats to our national sovereignty arise, when the interventionist spirit surfaces at the gates of our homeland, it is crucial to recall our history and the greatness of Mexico. Mexico is a truly free, sovereign, and independent country. We are absolutely not anyone's colony or protectorate. They have the ability to threaten us with any kind of outrageous action, yet we shall never permit them to infringe on our sovereignty or degrade the dignity of our people and nation. We welcome cooperation but reject subordination, seek collaboration but refuse submission. Interventionism is not acceptable. Neither interventionism nor racism or classism. Yes to the defense of our Constitution. Yes to the defense of our freedoms. Yes to the defense of democracy. Yes to the defense of the homeland. On this noteworthy 108th anniversary of our Constitution, we declare to be heard loud and far that any aim to affect our right to be a free people, independent nation, and sovereign land will confront a courageous populace ready to defend their rights and homeland. we stand united. We are ready to face the future that destiny throws at us in these times that test us as a nation and as a people. We want to remember the promulgation of our Constitution and the heritage of our ancestors, to give our best in the defense of Mexico and always close to the people. We are a free, independent, and sovereign nation. Mexico has a courageous people who know how to always rise to the challenges that history and the future have imposed on us. Mexico is a great nation. Mexico and its people will always be ready to defend the homeland. Long live our migrant brothers. ¡Que viva la soberanía! ¡Viva! ¡Que viva la Constitución! ¡Viva! ¡Que viva México libre y soberano!